Their common message is that Trump poses a threat to democracy. Richard Hasen is a law professor at the University of California, Los Angeles, also the author of Election Meltdown, Dirty Tricks, Distrust, and the Threat to American Democracy. Richard, it's good to have you. This is an argument at the center of President Biden's re-election campaign, that this is not just a difference of policy here between him and Trump, but that Trump represents a threat to our democratic system. Make that case. Make that case for us, and then I want to get into the politics of it.
Well, I think we just have to go back to 2020 and what happened in the aftermath of the election, which was that Donald Trump tried to turn himself from an election loser into an election winner by trying to get state legislatures to come up with fake slates of electors, by trying to get the vice president to throw out votes, by trying to manipulate the Department of Justice. All of this was an attempt to try to overturn the results of a legitimate election. There was no evidence of significant fraud or irregularities that would justify overturning the election. So that's the real serious issue that faces the voters as they think about their choices in November.
And we should remind people watching that while that argument has been called by Trump and many of his supporters a partisan argument, that 7 Republican senators voted to convict him in that trial regarding January 6th, and that the Republican majority leader at the time, actually not majority leader, but regardless, the Republican leader, Mitch McConnell, at the time, though he didn't vote to convict, said that Trump was responsible for January 6th. Can you explain why, in your view, it seems that for many Americans, memory of that has faded?
Well, let me remind you that Senator McConnell said that he would want the criminal process to take care of things. And what could have happened had Trump been convicted is that the Senate could have chosen to disqualify Trump from future office, and then we wouldn't be here today. Then, of course, we had the long delay of Merrick Garland waiting to appoint a special counsel. Then we had, once the special counsel was appointed, a long delay in the Supreme Court, now considering the immunity question. And so Americans have kind of a short attention span. Really, the moment after the 2020 election or at the beginning of 2021 was the time to take action. It didn't happen. And now it seems like it's just become yet another partisan argument when there was a lot more consensus right after the invasion of the Capitol and the attempts to overturn the election, that there was a serious issue here.
No question. And you did have members of the Republican Party at the time. I mean, there were members of the Trump administration who resigned in protest. And you had many members, I mean, Nikki Haley among them, right, who ran against Trump, making, essentially some of those same arguments, who have now endorsed him. You've had many in the Republican Party who either privately or publicly criticized him, said that they wouldn't support him again, who are now supporting him. The party, in effect, has accommodated him.
Right, and those who didn't, like Liz Cheney, she lost in her primary.
Yeah.
So the Republican Party has been cleansed of those who are willing to criticize Donald Trump. And of course, what we're seeing now is a coalescing of, across the Republican Party behind Donald Trump. And, it is essentially whitewashing what had happened right after the election last time.
It's been a remarkable turn of events in a short period of time. Richard Hasen, good to have you on.